Okay, we're about to dive into a pretty radical idea. What if changing your financial situation has almost nothing to do with what you do and everything to do with how you think? We're going to get into the powerful manifestation techniques of Neville Goddard and see how shifting your inner world can completely reshape your outer one.
So let me start by asking you something a little provocative. Think about your bank account. What if those numbers you see aren't the final truth? What if they're just an echo of an old story, a story that you actually have the power to rewrite, starting right now?
It might sound a little out there, but get this. A staggering 95% of people are subconsciously wired with beliefs that actually push wealth away, even when they're consciously trying to get more of it. That tells you everything, doesn't it? The real battle for abundance isn't out there in the world. It's won or lost inside your own head.
So here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll pinpoint that main barrier that's holding you back. Then, we're going to redefine what money really is and get into the core law of reality. After that, we get practical. We'll cover techniques to reprogram your mind, learn how to spot the universe's signals, and finally, learn how to step into that wealthy version of you. So what is this main barrier? Well, according to this way of thinking, the biggest thing standing between you and wealth isn't the economy or your job or your background. Nope. The biggest barrier is your own internal programming. You see, there's a fascinating bit of neuroscience here. Our brains are designed for one thing above all else: survival. And that means they love keeping things normal and safe. So if living paycheck to paycheck has been your normal, your brain actually sees that as its baseline, its comfort zone, and it will subconsciously cook up situations to keep you there, even while you're consciously fighting to get out.
And where does all that programming come from? Well, we soak it up like sponges from childhood, from society. All those phrases we've heard a million times, like money is hard to earn, or hearing we can't afford that over and over. They aren't just words. They build these deep, invisible walls in our minds that shape our entire financial life without us even knowing it.
And that leads us to a really crucial shift in how we see things. If we want to change our relationship with money, we have to first understand what it actually is. So let's just tear down our most common assumptions.
I mean, really think about it. What is money? It's just paper, some metal coins, or pixels on a screen. Its real power isn't in what it's made of, but in our shared belief in it. It's a collective agreement, just an idea. And you know what? If money is just an idea, that means it's way more flexible and fluid than we've been taught to believe.
And this is where things get really interesting, where ideas from quantum physics actually become useful. Imagine that both wealth and poverty exist right now as potential realities, kind of like different radio stations all broadcasting at the same time. Your dominant thoughts and your feelings are the tuner. They dial into the frequency of the reality you end up experiencing. You're not creating abundance from scratch, you're selecting it. Which brings us right to the heart of this entire philosophy. Let's look at the central rule from Neville Goddard that explains exactly how we choose our reality.
This quote, this is the master key right here. It's called the law of assumption. And the most important part is that little phrase persisted in. A random thought doesn't have much power, but an assumption that you keep coming back to, that you feel in your gut and live from, whether that's I'm always broke or money flows to me easily, that assumption, given time, will literally harden into a physical fact in your life.
Okay, so the theory is mind-bending, right? But how do we actually use it? Let's switch gears now from the what to the how with some specific practical techniques for rewiring your brain for wealth. First up is what's called rich identity projection. Now, this is way deeper than fake it till you make it. This is live it till it becomes it. You create a crystal clear vision of your wealthy self. How do they think? How do they handle problems? How do they make decisions? And then for a little while each day, you fully step into that persona. You're literally practicing being them from the inside out. Next is a really powerful exercise called dig and replace. You start by looking at a negative pattern in your finances that keeps showing up. Then you ask yourself this critical question. For this to keep happening, what must I believe to be true about money or about myself? You follow that belief back to where it came from, and once you see it for what it is, you consciously create a new, empowering belief to install in its place. Now, this next one is absolutely crucial. It's not the thought that creates, it's the feeling. Your subconscious mind doesn't really speak in words. It speaks the language of emotion. So the real work here is to practice generating the feelings of wealth right now.
Don't just think about being financially secure, feel the actual physical sensation of security in your body. Don't just wish for freedom, feel the lightness of it in your chest.
So as you start to do this work, as you start to shift your internal state, something really cool starts to happen. The outside world begins to talk back to you. This next part is all about learning to read those signs, moving from someone who's trying to force reality to change to someone who's working with it.
You know how sometimes you'll think of something really specific, and then all of a sudden you start seeing it everywhere? That's synchronicity. And in this framework, those aren't just random coincidences, they're seen as cosmic breadcrumbs. The universe leaving you little clues, winks and nods, confirming that you're on the right path. And these little synchronicities, they often line up to form what Neville Goddard called the bridge of incidents. It's this series of what look like totally normal, natural events, a random conversation, an unexpected email, a new opportunity, that the universe arranges to get you from where you are to where you want to be. Your only job is to recognize that bridge when it appears and have the courage to start walking across it.
And this is where it all comes together. This is the culmination of all these techniques. It's about fully, completely stepping into your desired reality now, a practice that Neville Goddard famously called living in the end. A really powerful way to do this is with the I remember when technique. You imagine yourself in your successful future, and you look back on your life today as if it's a distant memory. You'd say to yourself, I remember when I used to stress about bills, and you genuinely generate that feeling of relief and deep gratitude for having overcome it. This sends a powerful signal to your subconscious that your success is already a done deal. And this really shows you the core paradox of all of this. See, desperately wanting something, that actually reinforces the feeling of not having it. It's an energy of lack, of stress, of chasing. But embodying the feeling of already having it, the gratitude, the ease, the trust, that is the magnetic energy of abundance that pulls your desire right to you. Ultimately, you can boil this entire philosophy down to this simple two-step process. Step 1 is about clarity. Decide exactly what you want. Step 2 is about faith. Assume the feeling that you already have it. According to Goddard, that assumption, if you stick with it, is the entire creative act. That's the whole game.
Look, this isn't just something to think about. It's a call to experiment with your own life. Try it. Commit to these techniques for just 30 days. Really embody that feeling of your ideal self. Keep an eye out for those cosmic breadcrumbs, live from the end result, and just watch with curiosity as your reality starts to shift and reflect what you're doing on the inside.
And that really brings us to the final question. According to this philosophy, your abundance isn't something you have to go out and create from nothing. It already exists, right now, as a potential reality. So the only question left is, are you ready to claim it?
Go to the description below the video and download ready-made materials for practical work. Get started today.